All right, all right. Good day, wherever you are domiciled and watching from. Welcome to Humanist TV Africa. We are right back for another edition on this hallowed channel, hallowed TV channel. I remain your humble anchor and presenter, Obasi Uche, speaking from Nigeria. Please always do well to subscribe on YouTube or Facebook at Humanist TV Africa. Oh yes. And you can actually write us on at info@humanisttvafrica.com, or you send us a WhatsApp message on +25 47 47 35 67 and finally 67, so that you can drop any message, any concern. This is a non-governmental organization. We can actually help you pursue all human rights related matters. We are not just on television. We are also doing other human rights advocacy on the ground. All right, welcome to today's show. Welcome to today's show, where we'll be discussing about a trending issue. A special report that is now trending, that is a matter that raises interest among we free thinkers. That special report is TB Joshua, Nigerian pastors and deceit. It's an important topic, and I have a great guest. I have well-learned guests that will be joining us to discuss this topical issue. I have Uche Nelson, a Nigerian humanist, and I also have Abiti. I have Uche Chibuzo from Nigeria, and Abiti Nelson. They'll be joining me today to discuss an important issue that is trending, so that our people can actually learn. Because knowledge is power. Where knowledge is neglected, stupidity is encouraged. All right, let me go and introduce this topic. As we all know, before we come to our guest, as we all know, Nigeria, just like every other African country, is a multi-religious society in theory, but in predominance and practice, it is actually a Islamic state. Islamic, I mean, is that the major religion that dominates Nigeria is either Islam or Christianity. And in constitutional theory, I call it constitutional theory because it is just there on paper. They don't actually implement it. In constitutional theory, it is a secular state under Section 10 of the in practice, let me come back again. In constitutional theory, Nigeria is actually a secular state under Section 10 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, but in practice, It is a theocratic state. It is a theocratic state where religion is opium for the masses. That is why we freethinkers have been fighting to ensure religious tolerance, to ensure that secularism is adequately installed. Because in our society, you see that there are a lot of religious views. Aside Christianity, Islam, there are traditional religious people. There are free thinkers, there are atheists. So in a country that claims to be secular, you should allow people to exercise their freedom of thought, conscience, worship, and religion. But it is not so in Africa. So Nigeria is a theocratic state in practice. In practice, has made religion an opium for the masses, in the words of Karl Marx. So, in view of this, the Nigerian pastors act unlawfully with impunity without any legal action. Among their illegal conduct is deceit through stage managing fake miracles, fake prophecies, violation of female church members, and even giving falsehoods to the congregation, as this man will actually put it up. The producer will give you what this man actually said here before we get back to our big guest.
I have power to make you a billionaire. Is it possible? By the authority in the name of Jesus, all of you that are faithful, I make you billionaires.
You can imagine, all of you that are faithful, I can make you billionaires. A person that has multiple purposes. You know, this man, this particular pastor has the poorest church members among all the churches in Nigeria. Some of his members, in fact, his doctrines encourage poverty, but he's coming to tell the members that he's extorting offering and tithe, that he will make them rich. Who is fooling who? So that is one among some of their excesses in Nigeria. And today, you know, we are trying to tailor our speech, though the topic is TB Joshua, Nigerian pastors and deceit. In as much as the topic covers all the Nigerian pastors, we also have to streamline what we are saying. You know, we have to, you know, tailor it a bit to the topical issue, which is TB Joshua. So we are gonna analyze the menaces of the late TB Joshua, who happens to be a cleric and the founder of Synagogue Church. So now, I have stated it here. These people thrive through deceit and fraud. Now, what do we understand by fraud? Let me give a background of what is fraud, what is deceit from a legal standpoint. Deceit deals with making false statements or presentation of fact, which, if relied upon, would wreak havoc or cause monumental damage to the person that relied on it. So that is what Nigerian clerics do. Nigerian clerics are in the habit of giving falsehoods to the poor and unsuspecting masses. Deceit is a tortious wrong. It's a civil wrong. So the viewers that are listening to us, you can actually, if you experience any of these, their fake prophecies and deceit, you can actually sue them. You have a cause of action. Just that here in Nigeria, here in Africa, we are not litigation conscious, or maybe we are not eager to sue for some of this conduct because of the attitude of the Nigerian judiciary. But I am bringing this to your notice so that you can actually know that you have the right to sue any Nigerian cleric that defrauds you in the name of being a cleric. Being a Nigerian cleric or pastor is not immunity. It doesn't have any immunity clause. Just that your attitude, your ignorance is making this pulpit bandits to have immunity. Now, let me invite one of my guests to tell us what he thinks about the trending issue. Over to you, Mr. Uche Chibuzo. Uche Chibuzo is a Nigerian humanist, activist, and a free thinker. He is based in Abuja. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Uche Nelson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Uche Obasi, my host. I'm pleased to be here. Thank you, viewers at home. You know, when when the news first filtered into the space, I wasn't surprised. The news of TB Joshua and his atrocities, I was not surprised at all, because the issues have been in the public space for the past 20 years. You understand? So when BBC came up with the issue, I was not surprised. It's been in the public space. But the only thing BBC added to the story is just that they gave us wider audience. A lot of people get to hear about this. More people get to hear about it. But it has been there in the public space. There is this lady called Bisola. Bisola has been talking about TB Joshua. She was one of those people that were molested in his church on several occasions. She has been talking about it, but nobody heard about it, or maybe people played down on it. Because, you know, when things like this happen, the faithfuls, as they call themselves, will usually say, touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. And so nobody took her serious. So many other people have come out to call out TB Joshua on his effort, but nobody, because they were a minority, nobody heard them. But this is where I actually commend the BBC. But everything BBC told us has been in the public space, just that they give us wider audience. A lot of people now get to hear about it, and it is a good thing. TB Joshua is not different from any other pastor in Nigeria. Most of them even do worse than what TB Joshua did. So I will actually encourage BBC News to beam their searchlight on the living pastors. Let them focus more on the living pastors, because the damage they are doing, and that they did and are still doing and will still do, is more than what TB Joshua has done. TB Joshua belongs to the past, but let's concentrate on the people doing the damage at the moment. All the big names in Christian community, they are all core people. They are all in this together. So BBC should beam their searchlight to other pastors, so that people will learn and know what is happening behind the scene in their churches. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Uche Chibuzo, my able comrade. Now over to you, Abiti Nelson. Abiti Nelson, I want to ask you, do you think it is better to speak up in time against some of these pulpit bandits?
Thank you very much, my brother, and thank you for the opportunity. I also want to thank my brother who invited me. Uche, thank you so much for asking me to join this program. Greetings to our viewers. The question as to whether if it is important for us to talk about this subject matter or complain about it. It is the only way, because if we don't talk about it, people are suffering silently, and a lot of people are being defrauded, and people are also being manipulated. And the best way is for us to voice out, not only about the things that they are doing, but the entire religious system, which is the perfect ground for this past.
Nelson, we are losing you. We are losing you. Nelson, you are losing you. All right. All right. Uche Nelson, over to you. I want you to address this issue before Abiti gets back on his feet. Do you think the media has left much to be desired in tackling issues relating to these pulpit bandits? Do you think the media is helping matter at all, especially in tackling faith-based deceits?
I think the media, especially the big ones, it's only the social media that is helping to unravel some of this wickedness of these pulpit bandits. But the big media houses, they collude with these people because they have the money. They can buy anybody out. You understand? That's why when people make allegation against them, you hardly hear them. They will use media to suppress them such that you will not hear about them. And even if you hear about those victims, you will hear about them from the negative side, because those people, there will be counter accusations that, okay, maybe he's not a faithful worshiper of God. She has backslided. Devil has possessed such a person. You understand? You hear about them from negative angle instead of looking deeper to know why this person is crying. So media houses, with the exception of social media, are not helping matters. In fact, they help to cover up some of this wickedness from the men of God. Thank you.
So you are suggesting that that the media, especially the Nigerian media houses, are aiding and abetting faith-based criminality in Nigeria?
Yes, they are aiding and abetting them, because it doesn't take them anything to verify claims from these so-called men of God. That is why they are there. Investigative journalism. Find out, this person claimed to have healed so person. He claimed to have healed investigate up to the beneficiary of such miracles. Go to the villages, find out from people that that live together with them in the same community. Is this person really healed? How was he between social? It doesn't really take anything to do all these things, but because they collide, or they collude rather, because they collude, they won't do their job. So I think the media houses, especially the ones in Nigeria, are helping to cover up some of this wickedness of our pulpit bandits.
Don't you think? Don't you think that most of these, especially the big shots in the ministry, let me just put it that way, the big shots in the pulpit banditry ministry, don't you think that this is humanist TV. We have our peculiar ethics. If they think they are not bandits, they should challenge us in court, so that we define to them what banditry means.
Yes.
And what they are doing. Other bandits go with guns. Other bandits go with guns to kidnap people. And demands some ransom. These people go through deceit. They go through undue influence. Take for instance, thank you, Mr. Producer. Thank you. It is time we play the slides. Thank you. You see, BBC investigation unravels late Nigerian pastor TB Joshua's atrocities, life of abuse, harassment, rape, manipulation, stage miracles. Exactly what I'm saying. Other bandits go by, carrying guns and a lot of them. But these people go through deceit. They go through deceit. They even go through mental kidnap. Yes, because what we experience as we were growing up is mental kidnap. If you say that adult citizens have right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, you shouldn't indoctrinate children while they are young. You should allow them to grow. Give them a neutral education so that when they grow, they can actually make a choice. But not when you, from childhood, when a child is born, some months old child will be dedicated to the church. Thereafter, the child the child will be dragged to church here and then. Even in his place of education is another extension of a church and mosque. And you are saying that that adult, when he grows up, still have right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. It's preposterous. Look at another report. Another report why I say that these people are pulpit bandits. Their banditry is through deceit. For instance, how TB Joshua raped me when I was 17, forced me, others to do countless abortions. Former disciple and synagogue church member. You see? And under Nigerian law, having raping people is life imprisonment. But they do some of these things, no investigation. The police will not invite them for questioning. They will allow them. It's like that is why everyone is running into this stuff of becoming clerics.
It pays.
Because aside presidential immunity, parliamentary immunity, judicial immunity, another immunity that covers some persons is claiming to be pastors or reverends in Nigeria. They can do any shenanigan. If it is an ordinary person, whether he's innocent or not, that is being accused, I've been leveled this heinous allegation of criminality, the police would have gotten against the person. Do you know that in Nigeria, you may be in a bar drinking in an odd hour, police will arrest you because there may be a criminal act they are investigating, they arrest you. You are not even guilty, just that you've not even committed a crime. Just that you are in a place in an odd hour, you become a suspect. But these people, a person is coming, an 18-year-old, some persons are coming to make complaint, lay accusation, and nothing will be done about it. The thing will just go because the person has in fact, the respect they have for some of these pulpit bandits in Nigeria, in Africa, supersede that they have for the politicians. And I know, in as much as, read my lips, in as much as you may say that our politicians are corrupt, that they siphon money, that they are better than all these people. They are better than all these people in the sense that, come to my state, I'm from Ebonyi State. Come to my state, Dave Umai actually made my state a London. I must have to say, if you come to my state, street lights everywhere, yet we still accuse them of siphoning money. But look at these people that don't even play any crucial role in our society. We still give them maximum respect. They rape our children, they rape our mothers, they do all sorts of evils. People are raising an alarm every day, but police will not arrest them. I wonder why the police even did justice to this one. But who is even sure he may be released someday, like this report now. Police arrest Pastor 43 for alleged defilement of a 16-year-old girl. From Vanguard News, a report coming from Vanguard News. You can even commend the police for arresting this one, or maybe it's not that it's one of the pastors that are still growing their ministries. All right, is Abiti back?
Yeah, he is.
All right, Abiti, let's continue.
Yes, please. Can you back?
All right. Do you think it is better to speak up in time?
It is better to speak up. Let me first apologize for the bad network and the feedback that we are receiving.
You don't need
that is
to
one of the challenges.
This is the tradition in our country. Yet they still believe there is one supernatural being that does everything. A supernatural being that exists in Africa, and we are so poor like this. No network. Nothing.
Great.
Like someone that came to our TV yesterday to defend something that has to do with God does not even have network. It's one atheist that came on board that has network. So, all right, please continue.
Okay. So, like I was saying, it is very important that we speak against this happening in the system. My brother was initially putting up across that we should also talk concerning those ones that are living, because TV Joshua is already dead. And when I started following the story from yesterday, that is the concern that people are showing, that this story should have come out while he was alive. But then let's ask ourselves why it is difficult to attack them or to bring those issues out when they are alive. I believe that religious indoctrination is so high, and I keep saying that religion is one of the cheapest knowledge being given to us on a silver platter. So almost 99.9% of the human population are religious, and because they are doing similar things, it is very difficult to talk about religious matters. One, because they have the arm of the government on their side. They have the arm of government on their side. They have been able to manipulate the minds of the people, of the majority. So even people are afraid of their lives, and most of this serial killing is being perpetrated by these guys at the same time. They just hide behind the religious concept, portraying to be angels, but they are the bad ones in the society. And people are afraid of their life. So people are scared to talk about some of these issues when they are alive. That is why in most cases when they are dead, you see people bring these evidences and people feel free to come out and talk. Even that one is not easy. And so the whole system has been hijacked by these religious people, and we need to speak out, especially the humanist society, the atheist society. This is the time for us to come together. This battle is beyond an individual. This fight is beyond an individual. It is a generational battle, and it calls for the unification of humanists across board. It calls for unification of atheists across board, for us to put ourselves together and talk about these issues, bring some of these issues into the limelight, to enlighten people, to give them the courage to speak out. And we need to be able to organize ourselves to protect ourselves, because it's not easy to fight such a battle. Because it's something that people are living on. Their entire life is built around the religious fraud. And to speak against it, you need that courage to be able to speak against it. And so for some of us, we think this is the time for all the humanists, all the atheists across Africa. We need to come together and design ways and constantly speak against it, because the system is so much polluted. And if we don't speak against it, posterity will hold us responsible. People have seen the danger. They just need the push or the courage to come out boldly and share their experiences with the society. Because as we speak now, such things are still happening. People are under bondage. People are in synagogues. People are in different centers, going through psychological trauma, going through physical abuse, and they have no savior. They have no savior. And society also hailed this so-called men of God. Society hailed them, and the reason why society hailed them is that, like we always say, religious knowledge is the cheapest knowledge being given to us on a silver platter. And so almost the majority are religious, doing the same thing. And so when you see something bad about religion, if you want to talk about it, comrades, you need that courage to be able to speak out. If not, your life will even be in danger. That's the reason why people are not speaking. But the truth still remains that we need to encourage people. We need to speak up. We need to speak up. We don't have to keep quiet in this era in which we are now. We are not in the Stone Age era. We are in the scientific era. We are in the era of information, where we have the internet in our disposal to spread good news. So If you should ask me whether if we should speak, yes, it is important we speak out, my brother. Thank you very much.
All right. What if you speak up and it is still be swept under the carpet by the authorities? You know, sometimes people speak up. Like if you, the producer, go back to the other slide that we started speaking. You know, someone actually alleged, someone actually laid an allegation against TB Joshua when he was alive, and he debunked it. So sometimes, and after debunking it, the media did not carry out an investigative journalism. Thank you, producer. Thank you. TB Joshua speaks on rape allegation. He was being alleged, accused. The police did not carry out any investigation as to this. They just swept it under the carpet. And the media, the media carried premium time, carried it on the media that that TB Joshua speaks on the rape allegation. That is what we keep getting. That is why I want you to address this issue. What do you do when you speak up and you are being ignored? You are being systematically and institutionally ignored by the authorities. What do you do?
Okay, so what it means is that is why the responsibility lies on us, the humanist society, the atheist society, to put ourselves together. The individuals need to report some of these happenings to a body that is bigger than an individual. A body like the humanist society, the atheist society. We need to put ourselves together very well. Our lawyers have to be on their toes so that people can feel secure coming to us to report some of these issues. Then we will take it up as an organization. So there's much responsibility on us as humanists. How well are we putting ourselves together? How well are we organizing ourselves so that the people there who are facing challenges can trust the system and come to us and then report some of these issues to us? Then we will take it as an organization, not as an individual. Because religion is an organized society. They are so much organized. It's an organized crime, organized fraud. And this organized fraud cannot be fought by an individual. No, it needs an organized society as well. Well organized, systems in place, with our journalists, with our lawyers, and all other umbrellas coming together to fight this cancer in our society. And so much more work is demanded from us as a humanist association.
But do you know that there are some instances, there are some cases, there are some situations where organized humanism has come up to battle some of these things in court. And the court, due to the fact that I mentioned that we have a Islamic society, the court just sweep it under the carpet. For instance, do you know that one of us, Mubarak Bala, has been in jail since 2020? Do you know that after a court of competent jurisdiction in Abuja held that his right has been violated, that he should be released immediately, because so that the system still ignored the decision of the court and forged ahead to prosecute him, and then slammed it a penalty as many as 20-something years imprisonment or something bigger than that. Moving away from that, do you know that currently, yes, I will do a show on that on Saturday. One of the representatives of Atheist Society of Nigeria has alerted me, and we are planning on a show. Do you know that the Court of Appeal sitting in Cross River State has okayed that because the government can use taxpayers' money to build a worship center in a secular society. This is happening in Cross River. When the building project started, the Atheist Society of Nigeria challenged it in court. And the court, you know, most of the judges are religious. Most of them, they're either Christians or Muslims. So the court ruled in favor of the government, stating that they can actually use the state money to build churches for churches. But one thing I must assure, because that is the advice I will give, because yes, I'm a law graduate. That is the advice I will give to these people, to the society of Nigeria in Akwa Ibom. I will advise them to use the style of Malcolm Omirobo. If they go to the Supreme Court, if they appeal that judgment and go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court okays the decision of the Court of Appeal, what I will advise them is just to apply to in fact, sue the government and ask them to build an atheist center. Yes, of course, it's a secular state, so there shouldn't be any view that should be respected more than the other. So if the Supreme Court affirms that, look, it is good for the government, the taxpayers' money that should be used for national development, for national projects to build worship centers for a particular denomination, then it will open a floodgate of demands where people will want the same state to use the national money, the national budget, to build other centers for other philosophy. In fact, there are some traditionalists in that traditional religious worshippers in Cross River State. I may even have to reach out to them and also ask the government to build state shrine for them. There are certain things you don't look into, or you don't, the government should allow for private individuals. You don't use government money to fund private projects. Private projects should be private projects. Government projects should be government projects. But there are a lot of misplaced priorities in our various states. And it is affecting everyone. Nobody is speaking up. Then a court of competent jurisdiction woke up and okayed using state money to build private worship centers. So, comrade, sometimes we are making effort, just that there are institutional problems we are having. We have institutional problems. The court system has been hijacked. The media have been hijacked. That was what, yes, that was one of the things before the foundation of this TV. That was one of the things Linda Tilly, sister comrade Linda Tilly, spoke to me and Comrade Kato about starting a media that cannot be controlled by some of these people, that can speak up without fear of favor, without any interference, because the media, the traditional media, have been hijacked. The judiciary has been hijacked by these people. There is no case with it will be difficult for you to take a case, though we're still trying our best, but it will.
Okay, comrade.
Okay. Sorry for the break in transmission.
Comrade, can I come in here?
Yes. Let me.
Can I come in here?
Yes. Sorry for the break in transmission. It will be difficult for us to do so. For us to win, though we can still win, but it will be difficult because of the institutional problem we are facing. So, can you suggest the way out before we go to Uche Chibuzo?
Thank you very much. We are doing our best, but our best is not enough. The suggestion that I want to put across is that we need to put in conscious effort to go on campaign in our various geographical settlements as humanists and talk to the masses, the individuals, give them education for them to understand the concept of humanism and then atheism. Once we put this conscious effort on ground, we will be able to win a lot of people on board, because people actually need education. They don't understand what it means to be a humanist. People don't know. And once you put this across and you're able to explain to them, people find it easier to even understand it more than the religious concept. From my personal point of view, over the period of 8 years that I've been talking to people, and I can tell you that when we put in that conscious effort as humanists to embark on campaigns to liberate the minds from religious deceptions, we will be able to get the masses. It's a gradual process. We will be able to organize ourselves very well, so that it won't be that, okay, the few of us that are there, we are not doing any conscious effort to.
All right. Thank you. I actually get your point. Your point here. You are saying Nelson Abiti is saying that we should put more conscious efforts. You understand? Put more conscious efforts. Try to add more energy. Yes, try to add more energy, and also to do more on education. Yes, I've been proposing this earlier in time, that our education system have been hijacked by these people. You go to our secondary schools and primary schools, even our tertiary institutions, they are just extension of religious organizations. Take for instance, when I was in primary and secondary school, you don't start any activity with that. Even in the higher institution, there are some lecturers. You can imagine that in my second year, a philosophy lecturer starts class with prayers. The Reverend Father teaches philosophy, so he starts his philosophy class through Catholic prayers. So we do side of the cross and everything. Thereafter, the same man will be teaching you about atheism. So sometimes it doesn't add up. So before I go to Uche, our comrade Uche, we need to know this. There's already an institutional problem. Yes, an institutional problem. Yes, and in tackling this problem, just as our comrade rightly said, we need to put more energy in organized activism. Let me say it on TV, though my philosophy of life is quite radical. I am an apartheist humanist. Apartheism, I'm apartheistic. However, due to the fact that journey to humanism or apartheism is a slow one, it takes stages, it's evolutionary. I don't, on the first page, advise people to become like me. The first is I advise them to be critical thinkers, to develop methodic doubt, to be skeptic. You can still be a believer, first of all, and you develop methodic doubt. Like my personal assistant in my TV station here in Nigeria, a young girl. She started as a skeptic. I told her, in fact, you can start as a deist. Like me, when I began to question things, when I developed methodic doubt, the first step I took was becoming a skeptic. From skepticism, normally I become a deist. From deism, I became an agnostic. From agnosticism, I jumped to apatheism. So I'm not even tell people, because if you tell people graduate to university when they are still in secondary school, they may have issues with you. What I try to inculcate in people gradually is critical thinking, If you teach people and they accept to be critical in their thought system, the rest will become history. Because through critical thinking, you begin to unravel that some of these indoctrinations are just a bunch of deceit, are just bunch of lies, bunch of mental manipulations. So, all right, over to you, Comrade Uche Chibuzo. What do you think?
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think is the solution to the problem we are facing? And how do you think we can tackle this problem of deceit of the Nigerian clerics?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, my brother IBT. You have spoken well, and you made some vital points. I agree totally with you. We need to inculcate that those consciousness in our people. We need to get them thinking and getting them to do things different way from what they used to do before. And in addition to that, social media is helping our community so very much. You will agree with me that since the coming of social media, the growing number of humanists, atheists, and non-religious is alarming. So social media is where we have to fight the war and win it without spilling blood. Social media is a key. We continue to work on social media, off social media, but we use social media more, and without time, in a very short period, we will get desired results. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Producer, let's now play all the slides that shows the menace of these Nigerian clerics that have used deceit, a tortious wrong as a means. Look at this one. This one is Adebayo. Adebayo is saying Jesus may come back on October 1st. This is Pastor Adebayo. He's saying this is another false. Listen, it is not today that he started saying this. Why can't the authorities arrest this type of people? If not that they collide with these people, maybe during the elections they will, go to these people because they have a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of people in their churches. They go to them to actually, preach about them. By that way, some persons will support them, even when some of those politicians are not competent enough. But but whenever you hear it from Daddy-O, you get the point. People will actually support them. So look at this man, he comes every day too. And look at what this woman has to say. Nobody will investigate this woman and find out. Ever since she made this controversial statement, ever since she made this statement, it is just there. No journalist has gone to investigate. They will just leave it that way because most of them are, I don't just understand. That is why Humanist TV is just the best. In time to come, the problem we have now is just formed and followership. That is why anybody that love what Humanist TV is doing should always subscribe, because in reaching out to the public, to quite educate people to understand that they are not getting things right. I've never seen any journalist investigate this. I've never seen any journalist, any radio house investigate this. After this news update, it has been there. Nobody said anything about it. It's upon research that I discovered that such thing even exists. That is the problem we have. Most of the journalists, maybe it's the pastor that got them work in that radio house, so they don't want to, because these pastors are connected because of the nature of the deceit, or because of the fact that in Africa, religion is an opium for the masses. They get a lot of respect, and from there they connect some of these people. So that is why maybe the journalists, some of the persons working in some of these media houses are being connected by some of these clerics. That is why they don't speak up against them. So let me go back to that woman and read that woman's news. Back to that woman's news. So this woman said, I regret being used by Pastor Okafor, others to stage fake miracles. Listen, just read, let us read it one after the other, this sentence per sentence, phrase by phrase. I regret being used by Pastor Okafor. Number one, others. It means that she's just a customer to most pastors, that she regrets being used by a regular customer. I regret being used by Pastor Okafor. Pastor Okafor is number one. Others maybe 50, 100 to stage fake miracles. Sometimes women arrested for controversial healing. Yeah. It is just a pathetic issue. It is pathetic. So instead of helping this woman, this deformed woman, They are suffering from deformity. They use him to stage fake miracles. People are mentally sick, especially, if you investigate some of these people you regard as your clerics, they are people that they are psychopaths. Some of them are psychopaths. Some of them are people that are having issues, mental issues, pedophiles, psychopaths, sociopaths, criminals. But we use this manipulative tool called religion to cover up. I regret being used by Pastor Carr for others to stage fake miracles. Woman arrested for controversial healing. When I don't arrest them now, you guys don't even investigate at all. Don't you know that deceit is, listen, the law, the rule of law says that every person should be equal before the law. It does not say that it's only the common man that the law should bound. So the state should go against these people for fraud. Why the police should
hello, comrade.
Hello? You want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something.
All right.
I want to say something.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so in regards to the reason why some of these things are not being paid attention, or they don't investigate it. You see, religion, they are playing the same ball in different jerseys, and so play on.
Exactly. We are losing you. We are losing you. The network is quite not fine. Yes, I understand you. These people are just they are just in a team. They are just team workers. Look at this one. Your first fruit belongs to God. If you want to prosper, Pastor. These people love money. Their attention is always money, just because they are just there for business. They are just there to defraud people, to exploit people. In fact, you can never see them preach sound. You can never see them say anything without adding your money, your whatever, your this, your that. Yes, if you are saying that someone's first gift belongs to God, and that first gift is being given to you, it means you are the one playing God. Sometimes our Nigerian people, that is why the first step to becoming mentally liberated is critical thinking. You may not necessarily be an atheist.
Yeah, you're right.
You may not necessarily be an atheist at the first instance. It is as time goes on that your critical thinking ability will enable you to keep asking questions, keep questioning until nobody even tell you where to arrive at. When I started mine, I was still, following my parents. I was, brought up as a Catholic. The indoctrination. I was brought up as a Catholic. When I started developing methodic doubt, I was still following them, going with them, doing my closet research, doing my closet methodic doubts. So from there, one of my first methodic doubt those days was that I was asking. You said that Adam and Eve were the first humans on earth. And after this young man, the young man called Cain killed his brother, he was made a fugitive. The first question I asked, before someone become a fugitive, there is another country he's running to become a fugitive.
Yeah.
Yes, before you become a fugitive, a political fugitive, or a fugitive in the society, there's a place you are running to. That is number one. Take, for instance, Nigeria. Nigeria regards Nnamdi Kanu as a fugitive. That was why they went to do, under the law, what they meted out to do Nnamdi Kanu is unlawful. Even the Supreme Court has affirmed it. It's unlawful. Kidnap. Extraordinary rendition. That was why they went to Kenya to extraordinary rendition him back to Nigeria, because for them he's a political fugitive. So I want to bring that to your notice. And why Buhari in 1984 went to UK to attempt to adopt Omar Odiko, though the effort was countered by the operatives of the United Kingdom. Why he went there to kidnap him or to extraordinary rendition Omar Odiko back to Nigeria to face his trial was that he felt that Omar Odiko is a fugitive. You can never become a fugitive when there is no place you are running to. That was why, even in their scripture, the young man, after killing his brother and becoming a fugitive, he begged that he should be made a mark so that anybody that sees him will not kill him. So would you say that in a place you are alleging that his parents were the first people on earth?
That's not possible.
And where is he going on fugitive for? Where is he running to become a fugitive to? So these are some of the things people don't question. So gradually I began to question things. And on the other ground, they told me everything was created was created. If I say, well, how did we come out? If I say that we were not created, I asked them, okay, everything was being created. The young man answered yes. I asked him who created the creator. He began to abuse me. If you say everything more, yes, that is just logic. There are three levels of mental operation. One is simple apprehension. If a car is coming by and you see the car and you point at a person and say, "Hi, see this car," you've not made any statement. You are just pointing to something that is passing by. But when you say, "I see this car is beautiful," you have made a statement. You've made a judgment. You get? And that judgment becomes a statement which can be argued. So when you tell me everything was created, and I ask you who created the creator, because your statement is a general statement. If you are affirming that everything was created, it means that the creator was also created. Then who created the creator? So when you ask them that, they become confused. The next is to abuse you. So it's just three levels of mental operation: simple apprehension, judgment, then reasoning. Reasoning comes into play. So when you make judgment, which amounts to a statement, then that judgment will then, result in reasoning. So when there is no reasoning, through the habit of reasoning, when what is being affirmed is not reasonable, you discard it. So that is it for that. So we shall come back. In fact, I love this set of guests I have today. So we shall always come back to talk about some of these pressing issues, because by so doing, it's also another way of liberating our people. So thank you, the guest. The last thing I will say before I call upon my guests to give their parting shot. The last thing I will say to the victims of TB Joshua and everything. If you have evidence, you can actually sue TB Joshua's estate. If you have evidence, you can actually sue, because what they are doing in Nigeria is purely deceit, and this should all.
I think we've lost him. I think we've lost the host. Can you? I'm not hearing him. I don't know about you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Abiti.
Okay, because the network was breaking, I didn't hear the last question you asked me. Can you please repeat that quickly? Then I conclude.
No, I wasn't the one that asked the question.
Because the network was cutting. I couldn't hear the question that you put before me. Can you please repeat that quickly before I come? Okay. I believe it's also, his network is also distorted.
The network is really bad. I didn't ask the question. It was the guest, I mean the host, that asked the question.
Okay.
It was the.
But can you please yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And what was the question, please?
Just make a closing remarks, and I think the host has even left the studio. We need to make closing remarks and then leave them.
Okay. Okay.
You just make the closing remarks.
Okay. I would like to first and foremost thank you also for inviting. I will advise all Nigerians to do what I will advise all Nigerians to do at this crucial moment is to put pressure on your government to take action, to take the report of BBC serious. This is the time. There's no other time. So the Nigerian people need to put pressure on the government to react on the findings of the BBC. The church needs to be investigated, and if possible, if there are still people there, they have to send the security apparatus to the synagogue and rescue people. If possible, close down the church for some at this moment. These are the things that the Nigerian people need to do. As the various the smaller groups speak out, the government needs to take action, and then proactive one, of course, and close down that church, go to the synagogue and rescue those that are still in that camp over there. And then I also encourage the few awakened Africans that the work is difficult. Let us not give up. We are doing it for posterity. It is for posterity we are doing this. So let us all put ourselves together. Let us encourage ourselves. No matter what, we will die. Nobody will stay forever. And it will be good we die for something positive. Let us not be afraid of our lives. Let us die for something positive. Posterity will be grateful. So let us not be afraid, but let's put ourselves together and speak out. Encourage people also to speak up. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much, Mr. Abiti Nelson, a Ghana man, for coming. I really appreciate your coming, even though the notice was short. I appreciate you. Thank you for the good job you are doing. Once again, I thank the viewers for giving us opportunity to speak to you guys. We'll be here on a regular basis to educate our people and make them go the way of critical thinking, because that is the only way we humans will survive this planet. Without critical thinking, we are all doomed. I thank you all for listening. Thank you, Abiti. So, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay.